actually starting and it's live now. So
All right.
we are live on YouTube, and it's funny because it's like there's always stress. There's always stress when we have the video rolling, that little recording icon. So I wanted to ask you, you just finished up a podcast with Will. Um, what what was that experience like? What did you enjoy about the podcast with Will?
So with Will, the podcast was like it's coming after I think a break of 2 weeks or so because I hadn't done anything in between and no guests and things like that. I was looking forward to this, and it was fun because we were discussing something on what we usually don't speak about, and that is on men's mental health. I still have to do the editing and things like that, but it's so new. It's perspectives are there, and uh, these are so small things, so minute things that we miss out on. And uh, we were mainly talking about gender-based roles of uh, having these roles fixed for a mother, roles fixed for a father, duties fixed for each one of them. And towards the end, what we came out with was uh, each of us, be it a male or a female, has both sides to them. There's a masculine side and a feminine side to each one of us. And which one comes out more, which is more prominent, is based on whatever situations or environment that you're in. And that is so wonderful. It was so beautiful. Depends on what you nurture more, right? So I just had a lovely time speaking to you.
Yeah, that I always like the two wolf story. It's the story that there's a wolf that is it's harsh and critical and destructive, but there's also a nurturing and a kind and a loving wolf. And the story is the little boy asked his grandfather, which, these two wolves are fighting in our life, and the little boy asked the grandfather, which wolf wins? And the grandfather said, well, the wolf that you feed.
Yes, yes.
And so and it's so true of everything in life. And so I wanted to ask you, you gave me a wonderful task to move forward. I encouraged you with the podcast, and now you're actually re-encouraging me to come back and to do some podcast again, some solo podcasts, talking about
Yeah.
some of the concepts I have with quieting the inner critic, with finding peace of mind, with growing insecurity and in that sense of self, right? So that sense of authenticity, finding happiness, um, you know, finding your tribe, moving away from some of those people that might be toxic relationships and moving more towards, more healthy relationships that where you learn how to set boundaries and things like that. So there's so much that I can speak to. I just wanted to ask you, what would you like my first topic to be upon? Something I'll let you pick the first thing that I talk about. What would be a good thing to have that conversation on?
uh, Something that you're currently doing. You're writing a book. I think it's best that you could share something about it with us. It's going to be a wonderful discussion, or even if you're just talking of the concepts that you've derived and you've understood, many of those things can be shared, and it's something that many of us are going to benefit from. People who don't understand, don't even know what narcissism means, who don't know what these terms mean. But when you bring this up with examples and with stories, it's going to make many things very clear. You've got the ability to do that, so yeah, why not?
It's it well when you heal, I think you can be vulnerable. And one of the stories I have about, having a partner is, you want to have that vulnerability. And it's like I just had a whole discussion with Roland Ong about how do you create that environment of security, safety, trust, right?
Hmm.
Your tribe, and it's based upon building trust and creating vulnerability and being authentic. There's so many different areas there. but one of the areas of trust building is this area where you're vulnerable with other people. You share those parts of you that are imperfect or wounded or whatever. Not so much in a sense to create drama or to offload that pressure, but to just be honest with what you've been through. And and so in my last relationship, the person came back in an argument and started using these things against me. And I remembered saying, "Hold on now." And I wasn't angry, but it's like, how dare you use something that I
Yeah.
told you in confidence to try to wound me? We don't
Yeah.
go there. We don't do that. And I'm proud of myself even now for standing up for myself and saying no. And the look on
Yeah.
her face when I said, "Oh, no, 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 you're not doing this." And it's because I'm very, I don't know if amiable is the right word. I'm very, very easygoing. I'm like when she would have her emotional experiences, I trust. My thought is whatever she's feeling is valid. And there'd be times that she would shift the blame to me, and it's like, you can do that. I mean, if it's true for you, it's true for you. But there is a boundary line that if you share something about yourself in a vulnerable space,
Mhm.
it's not okay. And I understand that I probably, they say you allow people to treat you the way that they treat you. And I gave her a long, I didn't put up too much resistance when she would put blame on me when I didn't think that there was blame there. I just said, well, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. It's valid.
Mm.
But when she used what I had shared in an effort to try to cause me harm or to try to lessen me, it's like no, no, no. And so and that's
It's so
important.
difficult even to do that also, when
Well,
specifically
you have to
when
be
you've always been, yes, yes,
you have to accept that we're not perfect. And
yeah.
and that's the hard part is because we so want to be perfect. But we never will be. But it's something about that inner judge, and it's knowing what's right and what's wrong. And
Mm.
and it's also being in that space of of security. It's if someone is trying to harm you, you have to be a willing participant in that.
Yeah.
And so by saying no, we're not going to do this, it does create a little bit of a barrier, but at the same time, you have to create the boundaries. You have to protect what is your emotional space. And and I wasn't going to agree with her and say, "Oh, I'm a bad person," or whatever else. I'm just going to say, "Yeah, I mean, I told you that in confidence. You're supposed to have my back," is what I thought. You're not supposed to use that stuff against me. So so that was an interesting journey.
Yeah. But that's what it is with trust and being vulnerable, right? Because once you've trusted someone, it's only then that you can open up so much and speak to them about something, yeah, that you've been through, or some of your experiences that you might not even share with anyone else.
It's
But
hard.
yeah, it's hard because once that trust is broken or someone does something to shake that trust, and you don't know, oh my God, I've made such a terrible mistake, by telling all this to this person. So,
So
yeah.
so there is a currency. There is we talked about this the other day. And never give more than you're willing to lose. It's like loaning money. Never give more money than you can part with.
Yes.
So just have in the back of your mind that the person may never pay you back. And if they don't pay you back, it's probably going to be the cost of you're going to loan them money and it's going to cost you friendship. So
Yes.
when you're in a relationship and you're and we create these protective belief systems that say, okay, this person is not this way. But then when they do
Mm,
things that we're still clinging to this idea that, oh, they are a good person. They have our back. We have all of these things that we think are the right way for things to be.
mm, mm-hmm.
And then they act in a way that sometimes is just not kind. And what I found is it's because they've been wounded.
Yes.
And there's nothing we can do to change that. The only thing that we can do is be ourselves.
It's it's either you learn to become, somewhere I read, I don't remember, either you learn to become better or you turn bitter, something like that, with the experiences that you had. So even if those are not so good experiences that you would like to have, but uh, you could either become a better person or you could become a bitter person.
What a wonderful phrase. It's so true. You can talk about what went wrong your entire life, or you can start finding what is right and building upon that.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. So I'll focus on that. I'll do some sessions on, you know, what I know about these things, and I'm just a student, right? And so it's the idea of it may not be the whole answer, but it
Mm-hmm.
can start the dialogue. It can start the thought process, and I think that that's where the real benefit comes from. Because if we can start that dialogue, and if we can move past whatever's holding ourselves back, it's good
Mm-hmm.
practice. So we might start off with, not knowing, and by not knowing, we may learn the answer.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I will
Very
do
much.
one. I will do one after this, so that you'll have one to listen to in the next couple days.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for your coaching and for your inspiration. I appreciate